TK-421, wire 2 at your post. TK-421, do you copy?
Hello, this is Pilot TK-421, leaving my post to go try and survive on Ark Survival Evolved. Well, for those of you who are wondering what Ark Survival Evolved is, it's basically a survival game that can be played in multiplayer or single player. And you're basically, dropped onto an island and you have to coexist with the island's inhabitants and gather resources to craft your way to success. And overall, it's a pretty fun game. I've had a lot of fun playing it and whatnot. I've been playing it for about a week now, I think, maybe a little bit longer, and been doing some stuff in it, having a lot of fun. I will note one thing is you can actually change a bunch of stuff on how the server works and whatnot, for single player at least. And that's what I've been playing mostly, is just single player on the island here, just while I get used to the game and figure things out and whatnot. I might try some multiplayer at some point in time, but apparently you can also run dedicated servers or create a procedurally generated Ark. That's basically a landmass that you're on and it procedurally generates and stuff like that. And you can host non-dedicated sessions and stuff like that, so yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like I says, I've been having a lot of fun playing it. I will take you into my single-player game that I got going on here, but for that I will have to duck on out for the moment and load up my single-player game, so stick around. Alright everyone, I've got my single-player game here loaded up on the island. I've just got it on pause here for a second while I explain a couple of things. When you start a new character, it asks you where you want to spawn, and I chose the southwest section, I believe it was, which is pretty much this area over here type of thing. And apparently it's one of the better places for new players to spawn. I managed to spawn somewhere around this area here, which is why my home base is set up right here and stuff like that. But over here in the bottom right there is some icons that I thought I would explain so that it makes it a bit easier for people and whatnot. The first icon here is an up arrow that represents your experience, and every time you fill up the arrow here, you gain a level, and then you can distribute skill points type of thing. The next one down is a weight, and that represents your carrying capacity and how full you are. It slowly fills up as you increase items in your inventory and whatnot. Next one down is a water drop, and that represents your hydration level. I'll get into that in a little bit here, but basically doing stuff in game and heat will deplete your water a lot faster. And if I'm correct in my assumption with the next one here, it's a piece of meat. It represents your hunger level, and I believe it will help keep you warm somewhat, so cold would affect that and you would burn through food a little bit faster if I'm correct in my assumption on that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I thought I'd mention that anyway. And then the next one is your stamina meter, and basically anytime you run, jump, attack, I think even harvest to a certain degree, you use some stamina. Even swimming and stuff like that, you can use some stamina too, but yeah, that will slowly regenerate over time as you, don't use your stamina and whatnot. And then the last one is your health meter, and that will slowly deplete as you lose your hit points and slowly increase as your hit points are regained and whatnot. And then in the bottom here you've got the item list, I guess it is, can't remember what it's called. Item slots, that's it. You can equip various different things here and press the corresponding button to equip that item. And with that said, I think I will start the game here. And as you can see, it looks pretty nice. I'll just put this map here away. And well, basically you're wanting to just run around, collect stuff. That pillar of light there, it is a supply drop. Those drop at random places on the map, and if you can go over and collect them, you get some cool stuff from them. So we'll just hang out here for a while and wait for that. It does take a while for them to drop, but whatever. It gives me time to explain a bunch of stuff. For harvesting resources, you can easily harvest rocks by just picking them up off of the beach. And if you want some wood or thatch, you can just easily come over here and punch a tree. And if you need stuff like berries and fiber, you can just harvest them directly from plants that are sitting here. And you'll need to know that just so that you can start crafting some stuff. And as for crafting, there's a huge list of items here that you can craft. I've unlocked a bunch of them already and whatnot, but I'll just go through some of the most important ones that you'll need right off the bat here. First thing you'll want to craft is a primitive stone pick. It will help you harvest flint, rocks, and thatch from trees, and meat from bodies. That's primarily what it'll harvest. It'll get other stuff too, but not as well as, say, the axe. The axe here will basically harvest wood, stone from rocks, and skin from bodies. So basically you'll get more skins, stone, and wood from like wood, skin, and stone sources as you would using the pickaxe, but the pickaxe will give you more flint, thatch, and meat from those same sources. And then after you've got those built, you're going to want to build yourself a primitive torch. The primitive torch will actually help you out quite a bit. It'll help keep you warm if you get cold, and it'll also provide light at night when you're wandering around. And after that, you're going to want to craft yourself some cloth clothing here. All this stuff is fairly easy to build and craft. You might have to spend some of your engram points here to unlock it. This is basically all the stuff that you can unlock and whatnot. As you can see, I've got a lot of the recipes and stuff unlocked. And speaking of the loot crates and whatnot, there's one that finally finished dropping, so let's go over and check out what's in there. And as you can see, we dropped some kind of cool stuff. We've got some boxes, torches, a wood sign, a small simple bed, which is kind of nice because I will be talking about that, and some spark powder. Spark powder is actually kind of cool to use because well, it burns longer and keeps things going a little bit better in furnaces and whatnot than wood or thatch does. And other places you can get wood is stuff like driftwood here. Just harvest that with a regular pick or something like that. As you can see, I'm getting more thatch. And if I switch to the axe, you can get more wood than you do thatch. So that's how that kind of works. And then once you've got yourself, some of the basics crafted, you're going to want to get one of these water skins at some point in time so that it'll help keep you hydrated a bit better. And speaking of which, if you are starting to get dehydrated, you can just stand in the water and press the use button, and you will drink some water. Or if you do have a skin crafted for water use, you can just use that and it'll both fill the water skin and you'll take a drink at the same time. Your water skin will lose water over time as you travel around and whatnot, so it's best to find a body of water where you can fill it up or craft a water jar. I believe water jars don't lose water over time. And one other thing to note is if it starts to rain, you can actually drink without being near a body of water, and you can also fill up your water skin in the same way. And once you've got some of those crafted, you're going to want to find a place where you can build a place, and I've already got a couple of structures built here. Your first house should probably be a thatch house. It's probably about the easiest and fastest to craft, plus it doesn't take very many engrams to unlock. And a simple 4 square house is pretty much all you need, although you can get away with a 3 square. This ended up being a patio here because of uneven ground that I wasn't really aware of when I was building it, but that's what learning's about. And you're going to want to craft some storage for the place, either outside or inside. I've got some both. I've got some in here. And you're going to want to build or drop a small bed, or a simple bed, I should say, because it will allow you to fast travel between other beds, and it will also give you a spawn point if you should happen to die. It'll allow you to spawn on your bed, and if it's inside a house, well, you're relatively safe. And like I said, you want a couple of bins of storage in your house, and you'll want to craft a smithy, and you'll want to craft a forge, as well as a mortar and pestle, and a campfire. The nice thing about the campfire is you can use it for cooking meat, and you can also use it for a source of warmth when it gets dark out. I tend to do all of my crafting and refining and stuff like that at nighttime when it's a little bit too dark and dangerous to go out wandering around and stuff like that. And after you've got something like that completed, you're going to want to build yourself a raft. As for the raft itself, there's a dodo. It's kind of nice to have. You can build on them. What I recommend is putting a campfire, a bed, a large storage chest, and a mortar and pestle on your raft. And if you want to, you could even say put a smithy over here or something like that, so that you can use it as kind of like a mobile base. Nice thing is if you're on your raft in deep enough water, most dinosaurs and whatnot will try and ignore you and whatnot. There are dinosaurs that are herbivores, and there are that are meat eaters, and some that are both. But yeah, let's just head over this way. I've got another raft built here that I use for other purposes. And as for the raft, it works out really great for just cruising along the shorelines and whatnot, picking up rocks or harvesting wood and stuff like that. And speaking of rocks and stuff like that, I thought I would point out a couple of key things about rocks here. And big rocks like this rock here that you see right there, that will give you some metal, but not very much. You'll be able to get more flint or rocks using either pickaxes or axes on it. And where's the other one here? There are small rock piles. There's one. These are also a good source of metal. You get, I think, more metal from these than you do from the big rocks there. And also rocks like these smooth polished rocks down by rivers and stuff like that, they're also a decent source of metal too. One thing I will note is there are rich metal deposits that you can find on the map, and those are kind of hard to find, but when you do find them, you're going to want some extra capacity for carrying them. Which brings me to another aspect of the game that's kind of cool, and I'll head over to my other house that I've got built here. I did build this house out of wood, and that's because it's a little bit more durable than thatch. So yeah, I think it might be even a little bit more thermally insulative than you know, the thatch house, but when you spawn in this area, it's a tropical area, so you don't really need the heat insulation too much, or the cold insulation. I do have some dinosaurs that I've tamed. Kind of cool looking dinosaurs. They've got some tech dinosaurs too that you can tame and ride around and whatnot. And for your second house, you're going to want to build it fairly large so you've got a decent amount of storage in it. I got a storage bin over there, and it gives you room to build you know, a fabricator later on once you find the need to build one. I've built one, but I'm in the process of getting all the stuff together that I need to start building stuff with it. And over here you've got, you know, your basic setup for all of your crafting needs and whatnot. And then up here I built it in sort of a toolbox style so that I could sort of park my flying mounts up here on the roof, which looks like kind of nicely. And like I says, you're going to want to find a nice and decent place that's probably relatively close to water, so you can run down there and grab a drink of water or whatever until you can get some sort of water system hooked up, like a water reservoir and stuff like that. But there's a blue beacon over here. Let's go see what's in that. There are different rarities of beacons, and they do drop various different levels of loot too. Obviously blue ones will drop stuff that's better than, you know, the common white ones and green ones, but then you just gotta wait for them to drop down. Will know one thing, deeper water that you can actually swim in does sometimes have piranhas in it, so you gotta be kind of careful. And oh nice, a pistol. Just grab that, head back over to the stroller because there are piranhas in that water there. There's one over there, you can just see it under the water barely. And it's kind of nice because I did actually get the primitive simple pistol, and you know, that's going to be one of your main weapons that you'll need later on, but for the most part when you're starting out you don't really need any guns or anything like that. Although when you do start to tame animals, you're going to want to start to be able to craft tranquilizer arrows, and later on you're going to want to be able to craft a bunch of tranquilizer darts. The tranquilizer darts are a lot more effective at knocking out the dinosaurs and whatnot for taming purposes. But yeah, if you're looking at taming, stuff like that, I'm sure there's lots of guides out there and stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into that or anything in this video. But I think that about covers you know, a lot of the basics and stuff like that. I'm not really going to go into anything else here. You can ride the various creatures that you tame and whatnot, and you can also level them up too by distributing skill points in the same similar way that you distribute yours here, and it just boosts your basic stats and whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much about it for this video here. Like I said, I'm just sort of starting out. I've got you know, a bunch of stuff crafted up and whatnot, and a bunch of blueprints learned and whatnot. If you take a look at the map, I've even got a second base right up in here built that I'm going to be using for you know, underwater exploration and whatnot. I just thought I would build it up while I was messing around and whatnot, and I'll probably do a video on that or something at a later date. But with that being said, I don't want to take up too much more of your time with this video, so for now I will just duck on out, and I will talk to you all later. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and maybe I'll see you in game sometime.